Welcome back. I'm Michael Bull, and this is the Commercial Real Estate Show. If you'd like to know the absolute latest on any commercial real estate related topics, check out our on-demand show podcast. You can hear the shows while they're still available on iTunes or the show website, commercialrealestateshow.com. Well, today our show is called LinkedIn Mastery for Business Leaders. My guest is Stephen Jones with LinkedIn Site. And in this segment, we're going to talk about reaching your target market using groups. And first of all, I guess you need to identify and identify your target market, right?
Exactly. You can't determine what groups until you know what your target audience is.
Right.
And that's always the first question when we sit down with somebody is, who are your best buyers? So that's always the question to ask yourself is, who is your target audience? Who's your best buyers? Who's spending the most money? Who do you make the most money off of? Get that out of the way and get that determined. And then once you know who your target audience is, you can do searches, do advanced search on LinkedIn, super simple, and find out who they are, and then find out what groups they're a part of. LinkedIn lets you join 50 different groups. So one of the things that I find when we talk with business owners and talk about LinkedIn groups and things like that is that they join groups of their own profession and their own industry, which is good, and those are your colleagues, but you want to make sure that you're joining groups of your prospects if we're talking about sales.
Good point.
Yeah, so join groups of your best buyers. If they're, we'll be real specific. Let's say they're COOs in New York, maybe Manhattan area. So you can find groups that are COO groups. You can find groups that are New York related groups. There's just a lot of different ways to find those specific groups and make sure that you're in those.
Right. So if you're a commercial real estate broker in a group with a lot of commercial real estate brokers, it may not be the best groups for you, right?
Exactly.
And also it's important to know in those groups what's cool, if you will, in those groups. I know some groups I'm in, if you were to post a property available, they just shut you down. They're like, why are you crazy? But then in some groups, they actually promote putting out properties. So you need to really understand the groups themselves, right?
Yep, absolutely. Read the guidelines.
Yeah.
A lot of group managers will make the guidelines like the manager's choice discussion. So it's just easy to find. But just read the rules. It's tough for us guys to do. I think, we don't want to read the rules. We just want to jump in there and do it. But a lot of groups are very specific on what you can do and what you can't do. And
you mentioned the limit of 50 groups.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you get around that, or should you?
I'm of the opinion if you can manage and facilitate posting in 50 groups, then do it to the max. We do it as a service, so we definitely do 50. Mm-hmm. If you're independent and you're going to do this yourself and you can't handle 50 groups, then join 20 groups. Mm-hmm. Just do the number that you can handle and the number that you can manage. But LinkedIn has a limit of 50. If it's a subgroup, it doesn't count. I'm joined to 55 groups, but 5 of them are subgroups. But main thing is identify who your target audience is, find them on LinkedIn, see what groups they're a part of, and join those groups.
Okay. And you can also look at the groups and find out how many members and where the members are. Tell us about that.
Sure, absolutely. If you're inside of a group, there's a little icon that looks like a little lowercase I.
And you don't have to be a member of the group to do this, right?
If you're outside the group, I don't know if you have to be a member or not be a member.
Okay.
But there's a little, I know if you're part of the group, there's a little I icon, a little lowercase I, and it gives you a summary, gives you demographics, gives you the growth of the group and who the members are and what their titles are and things like that. But that's ideal too.
Okay. So I've picked a group. I've figured out who my audience is. I've picked a group. Now how do I become social in that group to make something happen? What do I need to do now?
What you don't want to do is you don't want to post something that's, salesy. Here's what I do. Come buy from me. Things like that. People want to be educated. So you join the group. and this is where the content marketing strategy comes in. I'm a big believer in content marketing. That's the fancy term now. It used to be education-based marketing. But you need to educate me if I'm your prospect. What do I need to know? What do I don't need to know? I mean, you're the expert. You're the one that's been in this industry for forever. I'm the green person that's a prospect. So, educate me, teach me, and if you do it, if you post a discussion in those groups 3 to 4 times a month, it's a moving parade in front of me of education. And then that's going to encourage me to either follow you, to send you an invitation, to connect, go to your website if you've got a link on your discussion. I might comment on your discussion. So I'm coming out of the woodwork and I'm engaging with you because you're being the educator.
That makes sense. And give us some more tips about getting involved in a group and finding content. You were telling me that one of the things to think about is maybe you found some content even in another group that you can share in your group.
Sure. If you've got an article that's maybe you found resourceful, that's something you could share in other groups, even if it's not your own article, but you found it resourceful. Because and this is the tricky part, even being the educator, it can still be seen as being a little bit overzealous if it's always your education, you're always pointing to your blog and you're always pointing to your website. Even that can look bad. So we have a ratio where we recommend posting your stuff to your website a certain percentage, somebody else's content a certain percentage, and then maybe you're not pointing anybody anywhere with no link. You're just asking a general question where you really want feedback.
Yeah, that's a good tip. And you also want to be active on other folks' discussions, right? And comment and things.
Absolutely. I mean, LinkedIn is like Facebook in the way where it's social. You want to be engaging and interacting. And if you're always posting but you're never commenting, then you're really just being a bulletin board. So find discussions that are interesting around your field, comments, be engaging, like other people's posts, invite them to connect. It all takes time, but it's all worth it. It's not, fluffy time that you're just wasting. You're engaging with your audience. You're engaging with your target market. And that's
talk to us about subgroups.
Okay.
And that's tell us about subgroups.
So a subgroup would be, let's say you've got your own group, and usually the big group has grown so big that maybe they want to subgroup it by industry, or some people will subdivide their group by region. So you might have the Bull Realty show for certain cities, and you can have, well, I'm following you from Seattle, so I'm going to join your subgroup of all your Seattle listeners. So that's kind of the benefit, and any group owner can create their own subgroup.
Okay, and if you're in 50 groups, you can get into more groups maybe if there's subgroups of your current groups, right?
Sure. And one of the questions that we get asked is, I found another group that I want to be in. I really want to be in it, but I'm at my max. What do I do? And just do an audit of your groups. Say, do I really need to be in this group? This is full of my competitors and colleagues. Let me dump this group and get into this group because it's full of prospects, and I'm trying to use LinkedIn for more lead generation.
Yeah, that's well said and a very good point. I think I look at a couple of the groups I'm in, and they're just not really doing anything for me. And then I get invited to a group that sounds great, and I can't get it. I'm at my limit, right? And speaking of limit, we're at the segment limit here. More LinkedIn Mastery for Business Leaders in just a moment. I'm Michael Bull. This is the Commercial Real Estate Show. We'll be right back.
The Commercial Real Estate Show is brought to you by Atlanta Office Liquidators, new and used furniture liquidators, France Media, publications and conferences, Florida International University, Real Crowd, and Bull Realty Commercial Brokerage, a great place to do business. For more information on these companies or to access additional podcasts, videos, or blogs, visit commercialrealestateshow.com.